Hi Royal Artists, it's Miss Vincent here. So what we're going to be doing today is we are going to be stamping with sponges and also repurposed objects from your house. So what does that mean? Well, last time we did it with natural objects from outside like flowers and leaves. And this time we're gonna go explore your house looking for objects that you wouldn't normally think about using in art. So what I did is I went and explored my house and I found a lot of objects that I wouldn't normally use for painting. Like normally for painting we use paintbrushes, okay? Sometimes I use them in my hair. But this time these are the objects I found around my house. So you can see a variety of objects here. There are yarn, sponges, a carton for egg, a tin can, tin paper, even some tape, feather. I found also a ceramic piece that says dream big, some coins, a pencil. I found the spiral end of my drawing pen, some keys, a comb, and also some clothespins. I thought that those might be pretty cool. So those are the objects that I found. All right, so now it's time to begin. So here we go. Also, before you begin you also want to set your artwork ready to begin. So get your piece of your tin that has your water. It can also be a jar. Fill it up halfway with water. You do want to have your paintbrush so that way you can put it on the things that you're going to be stenciling with. You want to have your watercolor, and it could be whatever colors I gave you. It could be a light color or a dark color. And also the acrylic paint that was also given to you. I'm not sure if you guys got a light color or a dark color. And a rag that you have got a little bit wet and then you wringed out so it's not too wet. And your two brushes. Okay, here we go. I prepared a paper behind it. You guys can use newspaper or something like that. And then you're gonna put your paper that is cut in half so that way we are working with art and conserving the paper that we do have. Okay, so here we go. So I just gonna kind of play with the things that I have in terms of doing the sponge. And I'm gonna start by getting my palette. I'm using the palettes that I've had before so I can work with those different things. I'm going to start by applying a little bit of the watercolor, and I'm going to put it into my palette right there, just a tiny bit. Then I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to add some water to that to lighten it up. And I'm making it more watery so the pigment is spread out into that. So that way I can use it more. So now it's where if I dip my different found objects into it or my sponges in it, I can use it. Okay. So I'm going to try my sponges first. So I took my sponge and I cut it into a triangle shape. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start at the top and I'm creating some triangle shapes changing directions as I do that. So you can see at the top I did some triangle shapes and I just switched directions as I did that. Okay, so now I did that one. I'm gonna try maybe doing the tape. So I'm gonna take the tape and I'm just gonna take the tape and put it on there. I'm just gonna take a little direction. Just gonna It's like the stippling effect we do with the brush. You can see what that did right there. Cool. It's different than how the brush effect was done. Okay, let's see what happens with the tin foil instead. So I'm going to do the tin foil. The tin foil consistency is different than the tape. So when I did the tape, it looked different than the tin foil. So the tape was a little bit thicker and the tin foil was more spotty. Okay, so I see how it's different with the sponge versus the tape versus the tin foil. Okay, so I'm gonna try doing it where I take it with a comb. So for this, I might I need to get a little bit more paint on it. I'm gonna paint the comb. So I tried to do it there and it didn't work. So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna, that was intense. You'll see in a sec. So I painted the comb and then I'm gonna comb it down. Combing it down. That looks pretty cool. So look at what that looks like right there. That's pretty neat. That looks pretty awesome. I like that. So I like how that's looking a lot. That looks pretty cool. So now what I want to do is I'm going to see what happens if I do that with the clothespin. So I'm going to take this clothespin. I think I might need to put a little bit more watercolor. Start smaller, go bigger. A little bit of more watercolor on there. Now don't just put the watercolor on there. You want to put a little bit of paint. Mix it with some water as well because you want to spread it out. You want to be able to use a lot of that. So I'm going to put some paint on this as well. So this can be like for experimentation purposes. And then afterwards you can create a piece. So this did not work as well as I wanted this time. Really, I'm going to try to push back and forth all my might. Let's see. Yeah, this one is not working as good. I'm going to try to push up from the beneath and see if that, maybe because of the metal on it. So I'm going to lift this one with my finger and then press from the bottom instead. I think because the metal is on it, so it's a little bit harder. Oh, that worked better. So for this one, what you have to do, because the metal's there, you're gonna have to lift it with your finger and then press underneath and push it into it. Because this metal part pops up and it doesn't allow it to just go like that. So you have to press up your paper and push it into it. Okay, so for this one, I think it's gonna be the opposite. It's gonna be a negative artwork. So I'm gonna paint the top of this and then the words dream big is gonna be the opposite, but it's gonna come out the opposite. So the words dream big that you see there, okay, it's gonna come out opposite in the artwork. So I'm gonna paint around it like this. Okay, and then I'm gonna press. And it didn't come out at all. It looks so fail, epic. I'll show you how bad that turned out. No, that didn't turn out good. It's all right. So we'll just turn it into something else. Okay. We'll take this coin. Okay. Oh my gosh. Well, sometimes that happens. We call it a happy accident. Okay. I'm gonna put the coin down actually on here and see what happens there. Silly. Oh, that looks kind of cool. I'm gonna put the coin down in a couple different places and just have like the look of the coin. Okay, so that's like 3 little coins. You can see like it was done in a couple different places. Okay, I might want to switch colors right now and try something else. I'm gonna use my rag to kind of clean this up a little bit. Let's try the other, so I did the orange color. I'm gonna switch to my black. Come on, come out. There we go. So now I have my black. I'm gonna water it down a little bit because I want this to last a little bit longer. We know that we want to be really conserving our resources right now. Ooh, that looks epic. I'm going to show you what I'm seeing right now. Like how it like mixed in with the orange right there. You see it? Sometimes like things like that can just be art in and of itself as well. Okay, so I'm going to cut some of the yarn up here. And I'm gonna go ahead and put it right. I don't want to use too much because I want it to be used as like a stamp. So I'm just gonna take some of the yarn. I'm gonna put it right in here. And then I'm gonna take some of this black that I have, and I want to stamp around my yarn. So I'm gonna really hold my yarn in place as I stamp around it. I want to keep the yarn in place as I do this, so I'm really holding it because I want to keep that shape of that yarn. So I'm holding the yarn in place as I do this. My fingers will look like a mess, but I want that shape of the yarn to be what is held. So I'm using the thick brush, and as I'm going, I'm just using my brush as I go around. Okay, then I'm going to lift it up. Oh, that looks pretty neat. Let's turn it around so you can see how I created that shape of the yarn like that. Okay, I think I need to do something else up here that's black as well. Maybe just a little bit of this feather. Just a tiny bit. So I'm going to take the feather and I'm just going to go up in the one corner, and I'm going to outline stamp it. And this is more of a stencil. When you stencil something, the other ones were stamps. So I'm doing partly stamps is where you take the paint and you put it onto it. So I put the paint on it and then I applied it. Stencil is when you put the paint and you put the artwork, you put this on it, and then you apply the paint directly to it. Oh, that was cool. Like that. Okay. So these were found objects around the house, and also using sponges and found objects around the house, combining watercolor and acrylic to make these. Last time we used natural objects to create the artwork, using monochromatic paints to do that. So when you're done, you will be able to take it, put some tape on it, and put it up on the wall to display in your home and gain some more color to your house. Remember, have a heart for art and bring that heart into your home. Bye, Royals. Look forward to talking with you and bringing some more art and love into your house. Stay safe.